this? Oh, I know him. He's from Game of Thrones. Salador.
Then we will take your word.
Look at this costume design, huh?
Be brave, my girl. Make me proud.
Look at this set design, though. Digging it, man.
I do.
Rory. I should have known.
We need to talk about your fiancée. She tried to kiss me.
Oh.
Tell you what, though, you're a lucky man. She's a great kisser.
For one person to have seen all that, to taste the glory, and then go back, it will tear you apart.
Tiny box, huge room inside. What's that about? Let me explain.
It's another dimension.
It's basically another dimension. What?
Whoa.
After what happened with Prisoner Zero, I've been reading up on all the latest scientific theories. FTL travel, parallel universes.
I like the bit when someone says it's bigger on the inside.
Huh.
I always look forward to that.
So, this...
Venice!
Whoa.
La Serenissima!
Proof of residency, current bill of medical inspection.
There you go, fella.
I'm so sorry, Your Holiness. I didn't realize.
According to this, I am your eunuch.
Oh yeah, I'll explain later. What was that about?
And he's gone.
I hate it when he does that.
We'd never interrupt Mummy when she's hydrating.
Look at this, man. Ooh.
Hello, Hudson.
Who are you?
Yeah, no reflections.
Who are you?
Why don't you check this out?
Whoa, isn't that one of the older doctors? I've seen...
Library card, of course. It's weird. Pale, creepy girls who don't like sunlight.
Yeah.
Can't be seen. Ha. Am I thinking what I think I'm thinking?
Yep.
You need someone on the inside.
No.
You don't even know what I was going to say.
That we pretend you're an applicant for the school to get you inside, and tonight you come down and open the trapdoor to let us in.
I'll be there 3-4 hours tops.
No. Can't keep happening like this. This is how they go.
Don't listen to it.
Your daughter, you look about 9.
Brother, then.
Too weird. Fiance.
I'm not having him run around telling people he's your fiancé.
Go on, Rory.
No, you're right.
Thank you.
Hello, sisters. Look at the photography here, man. Loving the composition and the angles here. Really gets the interior in the shot.
She'll be fine.
You can promise me that, can you?
I like how Rory's attitude's quite realistic here. Oh boy. I love me some candle lighting in a shot.
You said she kissed you. Now. You want to do this? Now. I have a right to know. I'm
Yeah.
getting married in 430 years.
Rory, she kissed me because I was there. It would have been you. It should have been you.
Yeah, it should have been me.
Exactly. That's why I brought you here.
He did.
Take your hands off me!
Whoa.
Psychic paper. Do you really think that would work on me?
Just as well, I brought this then.
Ultraviolet, portable sunlight.
Yours is bigger than mine.
Let's not go there.
Where are you from?
You know what's dangerous about you? It's not that you make people take risks, it's that you make them want to impress you. You make it so they don't want to let you down. You have no idea how dangerous you make people to themselves when you're around.
I like Rory being here, man.
And if I survive?
Then there are
Keep showing him.
10,000 husbands waiting for you in the water.
Yeah, sorry. I'm kind of engaged.
Whoa. Okay. Alien creature.
I saw them, I saw her. They're not vampires. They're aliens.
Classic. That's good news. What is wrong with you people?
Wow, look at this.
Long way from Saturnine, aren't you? Sister of the water.
Where are you from?
Gallifrey.
You should be in a museum. Or in a mausoleum.
Why are you here?
We ran from the silence. Why are you here?
Wedding present. The silence.
Yeah? Silence
There were
will
cracks.
fall.
And through others we saw silence. And the end of all things. Any which way you choose.
I don't think that's such a good idea, do you? I'm a Time Lord. You're a big fish. Think of the children. I will tear down the house of Calvieri stone by stone. Take your hands off me, Carlo. You didn't know Isabella's name.
If they're fish people, it explains why they hate the sun.
Stop talking brain thinking, hush.
It's the school thing that I don't understand.
Stop talking brain thinking, hush.
I say we take the fight to them. What?
Brain thinking,
So
hush.
they flee through a crack in space and time and end up here. Bend the heavens. Bend the heavens. She's going to sing Venice.
She's going to sink Venice.
You can't repopulate somewhere with just women. You need blokes.
Oh, they have them.
Oh, in the canal, she said to me there are 10,000 husbands waiting in the water.
I mean, I've been around a bit, but really, that's...
Is he gonna burn the place down? Ah, the gunpowder. It's gonna blow.
Just to save one city. Hard to believe it's the same man that let an entire race turn to cinders and ash.
Jeez.
Now you can watch.
Shouldn't I be dead?
Look at this. Look at this angle.
There are 200,000 people in this city. This way, you big stupid.
Grab it.
Great SpongeBob. The only thing I've seen on
SpongeBob.
your mum.
Go on, Rory. You show him.
Why did you make the sign of the cross, you numpty?
Oh, right. I'm being reviewed now, am I?
Oh. There you go.
Now we go help the doctor.
There's that theme.
We're not leaving you.
Right. So one minute, it's all you make people a danger to themselves, and the next, it's we're not leaving you. But if one of you gets squashed or blown up or eaten, who gets...
Great shot again. Right at the top.
There he is.
Look at that, red and blue. Rory and Amy. Simple enough? Or is it?
Tell me, Doctor. Can your conscience carry the weight of another dead race?
Huh.
Remember us.
Stay. With us, please. Just for a bit. I want you to stay.
Fine with me. Yeah?
Perfect.
Rory, listen to that.
What? All I can hear is silence.
Yeah.
There were cracks.
Through some we saw silence and the end of all things.
Okay, so that's quite the ending, right? Quite the memorable ending. You know, now this concept or this idea of the silence is front and center stage in this episode. You know, there's multiple name drops or mentions of it throughout the episode, and then of course that ending. It appears that the Doctor and I guess Rory also kind of got to experience the silence at play, right? Silence will fall as established all the way back 6 episodes ago in the 11th hour. Also, Rory was established 6 episodes ago in the 11th hour, and it was lovely. It was actually fantastic to see Rory back in. Yeah, you know, I'd say that was one of the best parts of the episode. You know, the inclusion of Rory and the dynamic he brings to this, I mean, I was about to say duo, but trio at this point, right? Yeah, you know, I was really appreciating the unique perspective he was able to bring, right? You see, the Doctor is not used to hearing some of these things, and, you know, yeah, I think Rory is on point. Rory is on point, and, you know, by the end of it, of course, you know, there's a bit of, you know, rightfully so, he does have a bit of a spiky attitude towards the Doctor, or not even spiky. He's too nice for that, isn't he? He's got a lot of questions. Again, rightfully so, given that cold open, right? And, you know, in that sense, you see that this iteration of the Doctor is maybe he's not able to read the room as Tennant's Doctor, perhaps, right? Social skills. He didn't quite understand that, you know, saying that at this or in this situation is a big no-no. It's almost as if everything he's learned over the decades on Earth kind of just disappeared, right? Once he regenerated. Because yeah, he could not read that room in the beginning. And he realized soon enough, oh, okay, yeah, maybe that wasn't the right thing to say. But ultimately, he did say it, right? He was upfront about it. And, you know, he wasn't saying it to brag. Again, you know, there's that disconnect. Like I said, he feels the most alien of the Doctors I've seen so far. The most detached, perhaps, from human emotions, right? But yeah, you know, he was upfront about it. And anytime Rory kind of pressed him for answers, he was more than happy to kind of answer and give him an explanation for how things kind of played out. One of the things I was going to mention is that, you know, this character of Rory, or, you know, this inclusion of Rory certainly provides the opportunity for a fantastic character arc, right? Or character development. Yet I've already seen a bit of that. You see that here in this episode, he's certainly much more assertive than his first appearance. So I love to see that. And I'm sure it's going to continue as he's been invited, right? And you see he's actually quite enthused about that, because by the end of the episode, he can tell, okay, it's understandable that Amy really enjoys this, or he understands the reasoning for it, right? Because he himself enjoys it as well by the end of it, right? And again, you know, he's quite enthused to be asked to join them by the end of the episode. And, you know, it kind of even feels like maybe there might be a bit of a bromance establishing here, or the beginnings of a bromance, the Doctor and Rory. And I really enjoyed the progression, the Rory and Doctor dynamic throughout the episode, leading up all the way to the ending there, to a point that it makes me feel like there could be potential for a fantastic little bromance, right? I could, you know, this does make for a really fantastic possibility. You know, at times you could see Rory and Doctor kind of being on the same side. Then maybe you could see the Doctor and Amy being on the same side. And then sometimes maybe you could see Rory and Amy against the Doctor, like in, you know, fun arguments, perhaps, taking sides and that whole dynamic. And of course, you know, as established really early on in the first episode, the interior of the TARDIS is certainly playing a part. It was clear back then. Remember I mentioned that the interior is much, much larger, much more spacious, looks fantastic, and it's certainly built for more than 2 individuals, right? To have extended scenes that could take place in the TARDIS alone, right? Like a good portion of the episode could probably take place in the TARDIS, and I would probably like that. You know, like conversations, long conversations, important conversations, fun stuff, all of that. The space is there, right? I've seen River Song, Amy and the Doctor. Now I'm seeing Rory, Amy and the Doctor. So yeah, that is certainly a fun aspect of this. But, you know, go back to Rory again. One of the best parts of the episode. You see that he kept the doctor grounded and quite honest in this episode, right? There's that poignant moment of him kind of really calling the doctor out, right? And you see it had quite an effect on the doctor. And it's something that kind of played into his decision making later, right? He gets quite aggressive, takes an aggressive tone, tells Amy, no, you have to go back to the TARDIS and you have to do the things I say you have to do. And of course, Rory immediately appreciated it, thanked him. And you could tell the doctor didn't like doing that. He didn't like taking that tone. But he also understood that Rory made a fantastic point, a valid point. I mean, essentially, he's accusing the doctor of being irresponsible and reckless. And because of that behavior, it kind of brings out the same type of behavior in his companions or the people that are traveling with him. And he's not wrong. He's certainly not wrong. I've seen that on display long before even this, combination of characters came together. That's certainly one of the things that the Doctor kind of brings out in the companions, the traveling companions. Even if he doesn't want to, it kind of rubs off on them, right? This notion of, wanting to impress him and becoming more reckless, right? Just like the Doctor himself. And you see, Rory kind of almost had enough of that. Had enough of it, and I loved how there's these subtle reactions. He'll listen to something Amy has to say, and he'll shake his head. He'll be like, "This is so out of character for her, right? Perhaps this isn't the Amy he knew or knows, perhaps." And it's a really fun outsider's perspective in that sense. He thinks a lot of these things are so crazy, yet the Doctor and Amy are so excited about these things, right? So again, the dynamic here is quite fun and interesting. And even though they do kind of present Rory as a goofball, right? There's a lot of jokes at his expense, and in that sense, I'm not really sure if I really like the treatment of Rory, or Amy's treatment of Rory. I mean, the Doctor makes jokes about pretty much everyone, right? And that was the mini episode, right? That point is being brought up here that there's this notion that the Doctor kind of makes fun of all the men in the room and is always trying to impress all the ladies in the room. Right? It's not that far-fetched. It's not that far-fetched. I've kind of seen that at play as well. It looks like Amy's noticed it. She kind of probes about his former companions and how many of them are young girls or young females. In that sense, I would certainly love an entire series that has the Doctor and a male companion. That could be fantastic. And I guess there's a possibility of that here, right? Him and Rory, though of course, it's three of them together. But of course, they're not always going to be together, all three of them. And there are going to be moments of just the Doctor and Rory together, right? So yeah, I'm looking forward to that for sure. But going back to Amy's treatment of Rory, at least in the first half of the episode, and again, given the thing Rory heard about, oh, your fiancée tried to kiss me, or in fact, she did kiss me, though of course, he didn't say the other part, that she was trying for something else entirely, beyond just kissing. Yeah, he's like a punching bag for her. Though, of course you can see that even Amy, I mean, everyone has their flaws, right? Everyone has how they deal with certain situations. You see, even Rory himself has a few flaws, right? He is quite overprotective of Amy. That's on display here, especially in the first half of the episode. Yeah, and then of course Amy doesn't really like uncomfortable situations and she tries to kind of get out of them, especially if it's her and Rory. I guess I just don't really like people being treated like that, especially someone like Rory, who is quite a nice person, like, quite a nice bloke. He's loving, he's caring. Even before he met the Doctor was this idea, this notion that he could never compare with, this perfect fantasy figure of a man, adventurous man, right? That Amelia Pond had in her mind, and then of course Amy Pond had in her mind. So Rory was always kind of up against it, right? But now that he knows that this individual actually exists, it must be tough for him to face that individual, right? And he's seeing just how Amy is around him. Again, there's a lot of great subtle moments of Rory kind of, reacting to Amy and the Doctor's interaction. He'll have this little shake of the head, or he'll have this just, disappointed or just frustrated look on his face. But it also kind of goes back to that idea that was set up in the 11th Hour, that Rory and Amy are so different from each other, right? In Rory, you have someone who is content with life the way it is, right? And he just wants to settle down. He's just a normal bloke, right? But then on the other end, you have Amy, who is quite adventurous, And the fact that she's met the doctor now and she's become even more adventurous and reckless. But yeah, I really like Rory. I really do. I think it's a great inclusion to the team. Even if they did set him up as this passive figure, they set him up as someone intelligent, someone who's able to kind of get a grasp of the situation quite quickly. And I love that moment in the beginning as the doctor wants, his usual, oh, it's bigger on the inside moment. But nah, Rory knew. Rory already did the research, so he knew, or he had an explanation for it being bigger on the inside. So I love that moment. I love that moment. So again, Rory and the doctor presents quite an exciting prospect. And you see their opposite reactions once that lady kind of gets attacked by Francisco, right? Or Francisco. Amy runs off after him, and then he is more concerned about the lady who got attacked. He is a nurse after all, right? So it's in his nature to look after her, to look after someone who's been injured. I mean, at this point, I might actually be more excited about Rory than Amy. But that's probably because I've seen Amy for 6 episodes now, and Rory is just coming on, and there's a lot of exciting setup there. Right, there's a lot of exciting setup for the dynamic he brings to all of this. So yeah, I'm quite excited for the inclusion of Rory. Let's get into the rest of the episode. I'd say maybe not the greatest, bit of a hit and miss. It's certainly one of those episodes that has a few moments I really liked, a selection of moments I really liked rather than the entire episode. I mean, on the technical side of things, the production values are just top notch as expected. It's been established for a long time now that the BBC really knows how to do these types of episodes. The costume design, the set design, the production design. It looks to be a location shoot. You'll have to let me know the exact location for the shoot. And again, even the red shirts or, just extras are in costume as well. So it felt authentic. A lot of times. The photography was top notch. Once again, quite noticeable use or a prominent use of the low angle in this one. I mean, it was quite effective in depicting a commanding presence, right? These low angle shots, be it the doctor, be it Susanna, or Rosanna, Rosanna, right? Be it the interior shots, it was really able to get those fantastic locations into frame, right? Be it to show a power struggle, right? Someone in control or in power. Those are, the attributes associated with low angle shots. I mean, in some cases, there's even some extreme low angle shots, and I thought they were quite effective. So yeah, on the technical side of things, it was quite impressive. Costume design, top notch. Once again, I spotted someone from Game of Thrones, so that's always nice. And speaking of the Doctor, Matt Smith, I thought he was great here. His dynamic with all these characters on display or present in this episode, right? Be it Amy, Rory, the actor who played Salvador. I can't quite remember his name. Him and Rosanna, was it? Actually, I thought there was a lot of great chemistry there. Him and that actress, who does seem familiar, but I can't quite pinpoint. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like a running thing at this point, right? 5 series in, I know there's a lot of recognizable British actors who show up. But yeah, you'll have to let me know, or maybe I'll just IMDb it after this. Yeah, I thought they had a great dynamic, on-screen presence, chemistry, for sure. And you see that by the end of this episode, the Doctor does have a few things on his mind that are kind of put on his mind, right? Be it Rosanna kind of putting the end of another species on his mind, on his conscience, or being Rory, or Rory confronting him about his reckless and irresponsible attitude that kind of rubs off on the companions, right? So he's got a lot of things on his mind, that's for sure. But I also liked how he really wanted Rory to be a part of this, right? He's kind of like the bridge in that sense. He knew if it's just Amy who continues on this path, it's going to create a lot of friction, that it's going to make it difficult for Amy and Rory to relate. He was spot on. Once you experience something like this, it's difficult to kind of go back to your normal life. So in that sense, I thought it was a fantastic solution to bring Rory along as well, so he can experience all of this. And they do have that thing in common, Rory and Amy, that is. So he's a bridge. So I certainly like that. But also you could say he's also a bit of a wall in that sense, right? Because I could tell, this whole running gag of, the Doctor being around and Amy still kind of having this lifelong crush. Though, you know, they've established that it's just essentially a crush. You know, she doesn't want anything more than that, but it'll be, you know, tough to shake that. And I feel like there's going to be more moments of Rory being frustrated, perhaps, or a bit of jealousy coming out. Understandable, right? Understandable. But yeah, you know, I really liked the Doctor's approach in this. And maybe he felt that, you know, he needs Rory around. That he can't really have just him and Amy anymore. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long this team kind of stays together. Is this like the new team at this point, or is Rory only coming for a few episodes? I certainly hope that it is a new team, because that'd be something really new and fresh, right? Having this dynamic, you know, of this couple that's about to get married, and then the Doctor having his own, you know, individual and specific relationships with each one of them, right? Again, you know, the possibility of a potential bromance is there. I saw a bit of it at the end there, a glimmer of that. And, you know, I love how this really has a feeling of them being a bunch of friends together. Of course, you know, there's a bit of tension there, a bit of, maybe a bit of romantic tension there, a bit of a triangle. But honestly, it's not even close to the whole, you know, Rose and Tennant's Doctor, or Martha and Tennant's Doctor situation. Not even close to that, in my opinion, at least. Doesn't feel like that. And I certainly didn't need that, again. But I really love how this is being handled here. And to me, it also feels like by the end of the season, perhaps, or after a few more episodes, Amy is going to realize, okay, you know, maybe her treatment of Rory hasn't been the greatest. And, you know, she has been taking her fiancé for granted, or taking her fiancé for granted, pardon me. Yeah, I could see that. I could totally see that happening at some point. But yeah, you know, let's see if this continues, you know, jokes at the expense of Rory. I can't say I really like that. Again, I don't really like seeing people picked on, especially because she's meant to be marrying this guy. So yeah, you know, let's see. I have a feeling it is going to continue for the next few episodes as well. You know, these digs and these jokes at his expense. But I also have a feeling that Rory is going to have this fantastic character arc, where the potential is there for a fantastic development of his character. And he's certainly already so much more assertive than his first appearance in the 11th Hour, right? I felt his takes and his reactions to these things are so realistic. And then, of course, there's that whole setup, right? Since 11th Hour, the Pandorica, the silence, the cracks, that's certainly coming into play much more now, right? Especially in the last two-parter going into this, they're leaning into it now. 6 episodes in, it's certainly starting to get into that much more. You see that, you know, the species of fish, aliens, alien fish, kind of fell through the cracks, right? And, you know, she mentioned seeing the silence, or they ran from the silence. So yeah, you know, that whole setup of the silence will fall is certainly at play at this point. And of course, there's a quick mention of time. So that whole notion of, you know, changing time or not changing time, or time being rewritten, or the possibility of it, or being unwritten, that's still kind of at play here, right? So yeah, a lot of great setup. So yeah, you know, I'm excited. You know, Rory's inclusion really excited me in this episode. Right then, I think that's about it. For this episode. If you enjoyed that, consider dropping a like, consider dropping some comments, give me your thoughts. If you're interested in full length or perhaps early access to the next episode right now, consider checking out the Patreon page, and the link is in the description or the pinned comment right at the top of the comment section. Also, there's links to my social media, Twitter specifically, if you're into that. Right then, thank you for joining me, and thank you for your time, and I hope to see you again soon for the next one. So until then, take it easy.